Hello friends. For more than 3 months now, the attacks on Gaza on Palestine continues. These attacks have been termed by many as a genocide, and South Africa had filed a case in the International Court of Justice regarding the same. The case filed by South Africa against Israel at the International Court of Justice on December 29th is scheduled for hearing on the 11th and 12th of this month. Before moving ahead, let us look at the response given by the Israeli officials to the same.
The State of Israel emphatically condemns South Africa's decision to play advocate for the devil and to make itself criminally complicit with the perpetrators of the October 7 massacre. On October 7, South Africa openly aligned itself with the Hamas rapist regime when it blamed Israel for Hamas's violation of the ceasefire and covered up Hamas's crimes against humanity. It is now aiding and abetting that machinery of genocide. In giving political and legal cover to the October 7 massacre and the Hamas human shield strategy, South Africa has made itself criminally complicit with Hamas's campaign of genocide against our people. It shares culpability for the tragic loss of human life. The State of Israel will appear before the International Court of Justice at The Hague to dispel South Africa's absurd blood libel. How tragic that the rainbow nation that prides itself on fighting racism will be fighting pro bono for anti-Jewish racists.
Israel, who itself is the devil, is making a mockery of itself by calling South Africa the advocate of the devil. The truth is that South Africa, which itself fought a long war against racism, is now becoming the voice for the Palestinians who are victims of Israel's Zionism. Only if Israel knew that South Africa, which suffered apartheid for a very long period, could easily understand the severity of the genocide carried out by the Zionist state in Gaza. Another case filed by Chile at the International Criminal Court accuses various Israeli leaders of war crimes. South Africa's complaint, which accuses Israel of genocide, paints the picture of Israel's slaughter of innocent civilians in Gaza across 84 pages. Now, South Africa is seeking an interim decision, not final judgment. It is not a judgment of whether Israel has violated the Global Convention on Genocide, but a judgment of whether the crimes alleged in the complaint amount to genocide if they have been committed. The petition was prepared by South Africa's best lawyers, covering international law, facts related to the massacre in the Gaza Strip, UN reports, and similar proceedings at the Hague Court, International Court of Justice. Israel maintains that the allegations are baseless. What needs to be seen are the findings of the court, which rules based on facts beyond arguments.
While the Hamas rapist regime does everything to maximize civilian casualties with its despicable human shield strategy, Israel is employing measures unprecedented in the history of warfare to minimize civilian casualties. We have been clear in word and in deed that we are targeting the October 7 monsters and are innovating ways to uphold international law, including the principles of proportionality, precaution, and distinction, in the context of a counter-terror battlefield no army has faced before.
The destruction to property and loss of human lives we are seeing in Gaza is unprecedented. The weaponry like the white phosphorus gas were not even used on Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, etc. in the past. Israel has forgotten all international laws and have made a mockery of the world bodies. Within 3 months, Israel has made Gaza uninhabitable. 250,000 people have already been killed there. Hospitals, schools, cultural monuments, and Muslim and Christian places of worship have been vandalized. In spite of all this, I just cannot imagine how Israel manages to call its attacks calculated and a step towards self-defense. South Africa's plea points out that genocidal intent is clear in Israel's crimes. The deliberate slaughtering of civilians, the weaponization of disease and starvation, the displacement of civilian communities, and the public spewing of poison by leaders all reveal this motive. South Africa has enumerated Israel's crimes, including not preventing genocide, committing genocide, conspiring to commit it, and overtly and covertly inciting it. About 70% of the victims are women and children. War has inflicted severe physical and psychological injuries on those left behind. about 85% of the Gazan population, including the elderly and the sick, were evicted from their homes. The International Court of Justice should intervene to stop these crimes and urgently end through interim ruling Israel's military actions. Legal experts observe that the document submitted by South Africa has sufficient evidence and is free of loopholes. Meanwhile, there is a possibility that the court may take weeks for even an interim ruling. Israel, on the other hand, continues and expands the slaughter unabated, meaning that the courts are no solution to the inhumanity. The weaknesses of the court itself are not negligible. There have been many instances where member states ignored court rulings. South Africa and Israel have ratified the International Court of Justice. However, Israel may ignore the judgment if it is against them. Delay in court proceedings also obstructs justice. Apart from this, there are political considerations and partiality. All this has prevented the United Nations highest court of justice from forcing the member states to implement its rulings. The way forward for the parties to enforce the judgment is to complain to the United Nations Security Council. With the veto system, the ultimate weapon of injustice, the Security Council has become a helpless body. The fact that the world powers are not punished for war crimes is not because they did not commit them. Until now, those convicted by the World Court have primarily been from third world countries. Even if the International Court of Justice rules against Israel, what will happen is that the country's reputation, if any is left, will be tarnished. There are those who think that even the decision of the International Court of Justice can be influenced by politics. 5 of the 15 judges are from Security Council member countries. The 10 others include India's Dalveer Bandari. Only a few countries such as Morocco, Brazil, Somalia, Yemen and Jamaica have taken a political stand against Israel. There are some who wonder whether, no matter how legally strong the case is, it won't fizzle out in the face of politics. One thing is for sure, this is not only a problem of Gaza, but a question of whether justice should prevail in the world. History will later judge how many people are left there to say that justice should prevail. That's all for today. If you like the content we provide, please subscribe to the Uptrend and press the bell icon to get notification of all our updates. Please share our videos and educate others. Thank you.